Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And welcome everybody to the Critical Blast podcast, video gas, whatever it is. We're here in the cave again once more. We're starting to make a habit out of these live streams here because there are just so darn many people out there making comic books these days. And it gives me hope that this is a new renaissance for our four-color funny book business. And tonight we're going to be talking with another publisher, Forest Publishing, Richard Embree, in his book, The Last Goodbye. Richard, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great tonight. Today I'm fully energized, and it's Friday, so interesting day. It's interesting day to sell a book. So
It's a crazy day to sell a book. It's a great day to sell a book. Actually, you know why? Because somebody did a really good job of unselling their book. So there's more money in people's pockets now that are out to buy comics.
yeah, indeed, and that's my market. Like, I sell comics. I don't register people to vote. I don't try to recruit for religion. My job is to sell comics. So I get up and I try to make sure that I'm peeping out what is working as far as shipping. I'm looking into print quality. I'm looking into just all the aspects that they go into the creative process, because I want, my goal is to have return customers. I want to brand myself and have return customers, and I just want to create an awesome product and have people enjoy it as I enjoyed making it. So
Richard, would you have a real big problem if Jay Lee did a cover for you?
oh, man, that would be an honor, and you know what, how I look at that is that's so cool for Ethan to reach out to him, knowing that the times are hard, and like, hey man, I let me hire you. Let me hire you. Let me put some money in your pocket. Let me help out your family in the situation, because we don't know when you're getting back to work. That I consider that a blessing, and the way that played out is what it is. This is my opinion. What it is you have a lot of fake activists that are really cowards, and they're scared to get canceled themselves. So they're just throwing each other under the bus. And you know what? I am so glad I don't have to, even partake in that. I don't have to worry about eggshells. I just, honestly, all I got to worry about is making sure my product is a great quality and my customers are happy. That's it.
And for people in the chat who might not know quite what I'm being cryptic about here, today on Twitter, Tom King has been talking up his new Rorschach series from DC, which was looking interesting. It's going to be a black label. And then he tweeted out this today. He tweeted out that today DC put out an alternate cover to Rorschach by Jay Lee, who has also done covers for Comicsgate. Hate group. God, Tom, come on, you know better. DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. That's because you don't own the product, sir. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. As far as I'm concerned, this is the cover of Rorschach #1. Well, that's fine. It'll be sitting there in stacks now. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. And you mentioned that, yeah, EBS reached out and gave Jay Lee work during all this pencils down period. But I got to wondering, do you think this is because of the Cyberfrog cover, or do you think? Thank you, Nova Blast. I got this new headphone here, and it's. Let me know if that's any better here. This Bluetooth might need to get replaced with something more hardwired.
Oh, I'm hearing you a lot better. Yeah.
Okay, well, it slides around on me, and if I'm not careful, it goes out. Is it the EBS cover, do you think, or could it possibly be the Sacred Six cover that he just did 2 weeks ago for Dynamite? Because Dynamite has been really getting hammered lately because of the associations that they've had with Comicsgate crowdfunded alternate covers.
If I had money, I would bet EVS because these guys don't know what's going on in comics. They don't know EVS just did $1 million plus in sales. They don't know what actual comic book fans like. And so when this came out, now they either got to catch up or they were waiting for Jay Lee to arrive, or maybe they did know that he did a cover with EVS and they're waiting for him to arrive in the mainstream so they can attack him and get some points, I guess, some cancel culture points, which is ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, Tom King has made statements on Twitter that I'm like, okay, I get it, Tom. You've got to stay with the cool kids so you can continue to sit at the cool kids table. But this is the first time I've seen him literally go after a colleague. And I'm getting the whole moral stance business. So, you got to take a moral stance against it. If you're at work with somebody and you find what they do reprehensible and you don't want to be associated with them, the moral stance is that you quit your job and you take the risk and stand up for your morals. You don't take the immoral stance and the cowardly stance of trying to get him removed from his job just because you're not comfortable. But Tom King's balls have been in Heather Antos's purse for a long time now. So
yeah, he went from CIA to informant. He's snitching on people. That's what it is.
He's a CI.
And here's the thing: if you're a fucking stand-up guy, this is what you do. You call Jay Lee privately. You say, "Hey, man, this might catch us some play. Do you know about Comicsgate? Whatever." And then have that discussion with him. You don't put him on blast without talking to him. Even if you wanted, if that was your play, to win you some cancel culture points, you at least try to come out like the nice guy. At least call him up and tell him you're going to do it, so it can prep him up, so he just doesn't, look on Twitter. I don't even think he has Twitter, so who knows if this is even, like. If you're gonna do that play, at least don't be a dick about it. Like if you're a weasel or a weenie and you have to do that to survive, at least don't throw people under the bus. I mean, I would have more respect for him than that.
You know who the happiest man in this conversation is Jay Lee, because he's not on Twitter.
Yeah, especially if they ban him and he goes to Comicsgate, then he's gonna be really happy because I already have money set aside to buy his book, whatever it is.
I'll buy it. I bought Sacred Six, and I don't even like the story, but that cover was just killer. But enough about what drives me to drink at night. Let's talk about The Last Goodbye.
All right.
Other than the title, I know nothing about it. I know that it's the same name as a really good song. I'm a huge Alan Parsons fan, so I had to throw that in.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to get the stream kicked now, because even as much as I tried to blare it out, and
we can edit that out and
make it all.
Yeah. We can edit it out and put it up
seconds.
Again. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good song. I wasn't aware of it. But yeah, that was great. So the last goodbye
album, Ammonia Avenue.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's cool. I might do maybe a second video mashup that I won't put on YouTube, but I'll just share on Twitter or something. But The Last Goodbye is the first script I ever wrote when I wanted to, or actually when I decided to make comics. And so I wrote the script back in the day. We're talking like 2013, maybe a little bit even earlier. I looked up how to make comics, and then, I learned about the pencils, the inks, and this and that, so I was like, okay, let me get someone to do pencils and inks. Back then, digital webbing was available, and Pencil Jack was available. So I got Brian on one of those, Brian Brindley, the artist of The Last Goodbye. And we got like 15 pages in, and his wife had some medical issues. He had to step away. And then when he was able to come back, I wasn't financially ready for it, and so we had to put it on pause. And then I ended up doing another comic book, and then our schedules just lined up, and we finished it off. And I took it to I actually published this before in black and white, and I lettered it myself because I would listen to a lot of interviews, and I heard Robert Kirkman would letter his stuff, and I'm like, oh, that'd be great if I could just learn to letter. Then I could
Yeah.
change dialogue, and I'm in control of the balloons, and I learned how to letter, but it wasn't that good. It was in pro status, so that's a important lesson that I learned. So with this,
It's not as easy as it sounds. Just
oh
putting the
yeah,
words to balloons because
oh no, yeah,
it's a
no,
big part of the story.
it looked. If I had to grade it, I would say maybe a C minus. But you could tell that I lettered it. Like the pros can tell. So
Sure.
um, with that, I went and I pressed up like a very small amount, and I noticed that it had a lot of errors, a lot of spelling, because spelling is not my strong suit. Hence why I have to get a editor and
Get an
stuff like
editor.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I decided I took a break from comics, and then due to having children, and now the children are good, they're healthy, and everything's good, and now it's time to get back into comics. And the last goodbye, I was like, man, I have the inks, and it's done, and I could crowdfund it, and half the worry in crowdfunding is having the art ready, because I was like, well, that would be a lot. That would people would have more confidence in the product if they knew the art was done, and then I'm just getting it colored. So right now it's halfway colored. The artwork's done, and I actually recently assigned Eric Weathers to do the lettering because I was like,
Oh, work
my
with the master.
yeah. I was like, you know what? I want the pros to do what the pros do, and just I get out of the way and let that man work because he knows what he's doing. So
Yeah. Do you find that hard to do? I mean, this is your baby. It's like handing your baby over to the babysitter for the first time and trusting that they're going to, you know, feed him and change him,
yeah,
and he'll still be alive when you get home.
what I learned with comics is that it's a collab because everything I put in the script sometimes it doesn't come back exactly how I imagine. So I just have to accept that and respect the artist because this is his work too. And that's his perspective and his. Unless it really has something to do with the story, I kind of let the artist be the artist. Sometimes there's
Yeah.
like, hey, this guy's that's the wrong character, wrong panel. Hey, it needs to be this. And if it doesn't affect the story to where I can't explain it later, then that's the only time I really ask for changes. And so with Eric, him lettering it, even though it's my baby, it's now part of his baby too. It's like what they say, it takes a village to raise a child. So he is part of this village now, and just like Brian Brinley is part of this village, and Brian Magni from all the way from the Philippines is part of this village. So long
It's
distance
it's
village.
amazing how we can have this global collaboration now with comics.
Yeah,
That the digital artwork world has handed over. You don't have to ship blue boards across the world to somebody and hope that they get back undamaged and run them through a printer. It's a computer file. Let me send it to you through a Dropbox or something.
yeah, it's great, and you get to find out there's a lot of talent out there that maybe you didn't have access to. Because okay, say no internet, right? I got to depend
Right.
on going to different comic book shops. I got to depend on maybe going to conventions, getting a car, seeing who's reliable, who's not reliable, meeting up, what are their schedules like. And and then we got to talk about pay rate. That's so much time can go into that where it's instant on the internet. It's like, hey, I'm looking for a colorist. Send your applications or send your portfolios. They send it. Okay, what rate are you looking for? This is what you're looking for. Okay, this is what my budget allows. Are we gonna meet or not? Sometimes when my budget is this and their budget is way off, then I just like, hey, you know what? Great work. I can't afford you right now, but I'll keep you in mind for later down the line when I have that budget. And just keep it moving. I don't haggle. I don't. I just just keep going and trying to find the best talent that can match the budget. So
So
yeah,
so you got 24 days left. You're already at 30%, which I think is a pretty good start right out the gate there.
yeah,
6 days at $600. It's $100 a day.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's a good
Yeah,
pace.
yeah, I want to keep up that pace. I had a lot of uh just great support around me, and when we launched, I did a 13-hour stream with J Money, Nova Blast. Shout out to Nova Blast. I see him in the comments, man. That's a cool dude. And even Boogie Bot, I see him in the comments too. He's a cool dude. He was a part of our 13 hour stream. And
We had Boogie Bot on our stream like last week.
yeah, I saw that. I peeped it out for a little bit, and then my battery went out on my phone. So
Oh, so you were the guy who was there watching. Okay.
no, I think I caught the replay. But yeah, so when I did that, I man, dude, it was cool. Like I wanted it because like I'm kind of unknown in Comicsgate, so the purpose of that it was to do that and try to get as many eyes on my project and Comicsgate projects. Because if anyone that thinks Comicsgate is a hate group, I got 9 hours in one, and then 13, then 3 hours in one, and it comes out to like 13. So I got a 13-hour stream of nothing but comic skaters, and if we were a hate group, you would have found it within 13 hours of being on camera.
You would think.
Yeah.
You know what?
So
I don't doubt that some of these people had somebody talk to them on Twitter and say something rude or offensive or even outright just hateful.
yeah,
And if they were asked to prove who it was, it'd be like, what was John Smith 176? He had 2 followers. He had an account for 30 days. Uh, and because it's never anybody that's known. Now, I happen to know that there are people who probably a little bit more known who are on just this side of reprehensible. But
yeah,
that's true of any group. I mean, Comicsgate is a body of people, and every single body, whatever kind of body it is, has an asshole. And
always.
half of them have dicks.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
always.
Comicsgate is going to
Yeah.
have them. Professional comics has them. They're louder, and they're more, profligate. They're all over the place. But it, and that's why I think it's important to always put your best effort forward in meetings with people, because you may be the first Comicsgate person that somebody comes across, and if that meeting is distasteful to them, then it gets applied to the whole group.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there was a
definitely.
group for a while that was being that way to certain people on the internet, and they were saying, hey, can you not do this to us? And people were going to EVS and saying, hey, can you tell these people to be normal?
Yeah,
And
you
he
know.
wouldn't do it because they were customers, but after a while they became creators, and then they split ways, and we all know who I'm talking about now.
Yeah, and you know what the great thing about Comicsgate though too is there are different sections, and everyone has a voice. So if that's how they choose to use their voice, that's fine. But that doesn't represent all of Comicsgate. And the majority,
Absolutely.
if you were to take random 100 people, right, that are all Comicsgate, you line them up, and you say, what is Comicsgate about? Like everyone's gonna say customer service, respecting the customer, and everyone's gonna say stories before politics, and everyone's gonna say just having great art.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna hit those three. Every guy, every girl, every guy, or whatever you want to identify, every person, you're gonna hit that because there's so many people in Comicsgate. And that's the common theme, but that's not being shared. What's being
Tell me a
shared
story,
is
don't tell me a sermon.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I want escapism. I know how powerful and beneficial escapism is. My day job is a substance abuse counselor, So when people don't want to deal with the problems, they turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, they turn to this. Not saying that if there's not comics, people are going to shoot heroin. I mean, no. But what I'm saying is escapism is great for self care, right? So
Yeah.
RJ, if you're stressed out and you know what, I just want to. News is depressing. Uh, I need to just relax and let me get a good book to get me distracted with some good art and a creator that put some passion into it. That's what you want. You don't want to see reality again on the pages. It's just come on, like just give me a good story.
Yeah. And
So
that's been missing for so long. That's how I used to relax. And
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. So
So what we've got here is a 32-page one shot. You managed to tell a whole story in 32 pages.
yes, sir. Because when I was
Lost art.
yeah. So what I wanted, because I knew my budget was only for like 32 pages, So I was like, I got to fit a one shot in this, and I got to make it a complete story, because I want to get the best story I can tell in 32 pages. And so I took a little bit of elements out of everything that I could find, but it relies real heavy on like crime, like street crime, uh, more like the noir scene where the guys it's kind of slow paced at times, but not really, because there's everything everything's in play. The progression of the story gets faster and faster throughout as the story goes along, and the main theme of it is because I try to, like, how do I pitch this story? How do I pitch this story without giving it away? So the main theme of the story, I would have to say, is what happens when a bad guy doesn't want to be a bad guy anymore? How does a bad guy stop being a bad guy?
Nobody leaves the mafia.
Yeah. So you got to say goodbye to a lot of things, and this is the last goodbye. So
It
that's
sounds like a Raymond Chandler title
yeah.
or a
Yeah, that's
Dashiell
what.
Hammett kind of thing.
Yeah, because I wanted to get something like that doesn't give it away, like but it even the last goodbye, it doesn't really give it away. Like you'll when you get to the end, the last like 3 or 5 pages, you're gonna, oh, okay, this is what it's leading up to. This is what it's all about. So
All right.
and yeah, did you
And
want
for
me to
those
play the
watching,
video?
absolutely. And I want to tell everybody who's watching, whether it's on the replay or on the live stream, that if they just go just down there to that description box, the very first link there will be to the Indiegogo for The Last Goodbye. Obviously, the reason we do these things is so that people will be drawn to that and get to see the artwork, hear the creator, learn a little bit about the story, and then go buy the book.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Please
let's see that
support.
video, and then we'll scroll down and see what other
Sure,
goodies are down in here.
sure. Let me get it going. Let's see.
Okay, that was some very cool artwork, nice
Yeah.
painting. I didn't hear a thing.
Oh, you didn't?
There was no audio to that. Now, that could have been
Wow.
just me. If you're in the
Yeah.
chat and you heard audio, please let me know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't get the audio from a shared screen.
That's weird. I heard it. I was like
Well, if you
grooving out
heard
to
it,
it.
then everybody else probably did too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nope. Nova Blast says no sound on the trailer.
Oh wow.
So it went out that way.
Oh wow. That's wow. That's so
But it
weird.
looked beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. I actually the hip hop beat is my friend's son who I used to do be involved in hip hop, and I knew an older guy who's older than me, and now we're both old, and his son is the young guy, and his son actually made that beat. So shout out to Cluth, and shout out to Ambush, so for arranging that. So, but
All right.
so let's talk Last Goodbye. So Last Goodbye, I got I just wanted to bless my customers with the early bird combo. So you're gonna get the shirt, you're gonna get both covers, and everyone that purchases is gonna get stickers. So we're gonna have 3 stickers in there. So
Man, just the shirt alone is a $30 perk.
yeah, but I want to take care of my
You're getting
people.
2 copies of the book.
Yeah, it's I want to take care of my customers, especially with the early bird combo, because I know books are kind of expensive and the shipping's kind of expensive. So if we can bundle it all together, like let's do it. Let's and I think I don't want to brag too much, but I think that's the best deal out right now with 2 books, a shirt, and some stickers. For 30, I think that's the best.
That's a fantastic deal.
It's a good deal. The other comic books are great, but as far as bang for the buck, I think we might be having something special. So, and then standard cover and stickers. Like I said, everyone gets stickers. That's the Brian Brindley cover. That is $15, and for the variant, it'll be $15 as well. And with the variant, I'm only gonna print up like a small limited amount for the variant, because I just want it to be just for my Indiegogo backers. So the standard cover, I'm gonna have that on demand, but the variant cover, I'm gonna have basically what people order, a couple more for my kids, and that's it. So.
Now, who's the artist on the variant? Is that Brian as well?
That's Mark Savona. He's my I worked with Mark prior to my when I had kids, and we had a couple projects that we started, but again, timing, wrong place. So I hit him up. I was like, hey man, you want to do a variant? And he's like, yeah. And he like did this in a couple of hours. He's like, give me a reference, and then I gave him a reference, and then boom, and then I thought it was pretty cool. So
I love those deep red and oranges there. It's like it's real small on my screen here, but it's like something's burning.
Oh yeah.
Sunset.
We'll go down here so you can see it. And then this is both covers for $20, plus shipping. So yeah, you can
You get one cover for 15, 2 for 20. Why would you not get two covers, people? I know you're getting 2 books, but give one to a friend. It'd cost you what, $5 extra?
Yeah.
Give them the stickers. Keep those for yourself.
Yeah, and the both books. Because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to start off at like an average price point for everyone, and then the more you spend, the more you save, and the more you get. So if you want to just when the early bird only special only has like 25 slots available, so if that sells out, standard cover and shirt, $30. Variant
early bird when you're getting the second book free.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Get
and then
early, people.
Yeah, and then we have the variant in the shirt, and then basically the covers and the shirt. That's basically the early bird special. But still, if you miss out on it, you still get it for $40. So, I mean that's pretty good.
That's awesome. Now, how long is the early bird? Is just when the 25 are gone, they're gone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So just try to get people to hop on that, and then
there's an urgency.
Yeah. You know what? I wanted to really feature that and push that because if you start on strong and then you stay strong, they kind of feature you at the top as far as Indiegogo, so I can get some people that are just browsing around comics. Hopefully I can get them to support.
Yeah.
But There's just so many great campaigns out there that I'm looking at them like, man, I want to get this book out fulfilled, and so buy a couple for myself and then get back into the next project. So yeah, my goal is to get this comic in people's hands, that whoever ordered it, I want to get it into their hands as soon as possible. So
Okay. Now,
our
what is
our
this last insane perk here that I'm looking at?
so this is the personalized cover. Basically, you let us know what you want on that cover, and Mr. Brian Brindley will draw it up, and then Mr. Brian Magni will color it for you, and you have your own personal last goodbye. So
Okay,
if you,
so is this so let me make sure I totally understand this. Are you printing up 5 blank covers and you're going to draw it on the book? Or are you actually going to print one copy of a book that you've done digital artwork for?
that's a good question. We are gonna print up
Gotta think about
one
that.
copy, with the
So
artwork
this
on
isn't
it.
a sketch cover. This
No.
is a printed cover, one piece of art that exists only for the person who bought it.
Yes, sir. And I'm glad you said that, because now I'm gonna change the description so people know.
Yeah,
'Cause,
because
maybe
a lot
that's
of people
what's-
do the blank covers and you get a sketch on it. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
They might think $500 for a sketch cover might be outrageous, but for $500 for a fully realized comic book cover, printed, glossy cover and everything, well,
Yep.
or matte, whatever you're using, not a sketch cover, one
Yeah.
of a kind.
Yeah,
It's the
definitely.
only one that exists, and there's only 5 of them that are different in the whole world.
Yeah.
That's insane. What made you come up with that idea? Because I have seen nobody use that perk. I've seen plenty of people say be drawn into the comic, but that's just the economy of scale on that is it gets drawn into all of them.
I talked to Brian. I was like, hey Brian, would you mind doing some covers for people? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, well, what's your rate? And this is a way for me to gain more money and gain them more money. As far as 500, we can reach the goal quicker, and we can also get generate some revenue for Brian and my Bryans. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's great. It's a great idea, and I just like that would be so awesome. Like if you wanted to have you on it, or another one of the main characters you saw in the video is Anna. She's also one of the stickers. So if you want to have you and your wife dressed up like that, and with your faces drawn on there, that'd be cool. And kind of tell us what you want. Only thing is, we got to keep it somewhat. I want to say rated R, because Brian's a family man, and I won't ask him to do anything too crazy or too risque. I'm just So other than that, but we can go rated R all day. But just it's just
Somebody's gonna ask for something weird.
yeah, it's just like everyone wants to be like, hey man, why I paid 500? Can I, if Brian agrees to it, I'm cool with it. But we just got to keep it somewhat decent. I don't want
That's a tier that I have never seen done before. So that I almost feel bad asking about the tier that I didn't see that I have seen done before, to see if you were considering something like it, because this is so unique and outrageous.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask it anyway.
Sure.
A lot of people are doing retailer tiers, where it's like, if you get, order 10 copies or order 5 copies at a certain discounted rate, and that's so that the retailers can put your book on actual store shelves. Is that something that you even are interested in having done?
Okay, so with retailers, I like at this price point for a floppy, they're not interested in me.
Right.
So I've had I reached out to some retailers. Some retailers just they do it because for the love of comics, and they're awesome people that do that. But the majority of retailers, they want the price rate at like a 250, so they can sell it for 5. So like, okay, so say if I did like 250, that's not. I would feel like I would be ripping off my customers, And retailer, when I say, you know what, this is a collector's item, a high quality collector's item, because that's kind of what we're branding ourselves as far as Comic Gate. I don't think they would be interested in it. So,
Okay. 'Cause I've
with
seen it done with some of them, but they were probably lower price point. They were more like $10 books, and you get
yeah,
like if you bought 10 of them, then you were getting them for like $8 a piece. So it
yeah.
wasn't much of a discount, but it
Did
is
they
something
sell?
that
Did they sell?
I
Did
don't
you?
know.
Yeah, because that's where I
The
think.
perks get taken. I've seen that, but I don't know if they
Yeah,
sell in the stores once they get there.
yeah. So that might just be a person that So I just like I don't feel that because okay. So as one retailer told me, he was like, "Look, I just bought all this crap from Diamond. I got to clear this shelf. I don't have money to put your stuff on the shelf, even for commission." And that kind of like, honestly, in a way, it kind of like broke my heart because I'm like, bro, I come here every week and drop 30 for you, bro. And like, you can't even,
Yeah.
So,
It's the shelf space is at a premium, and that's why Marvel puts out so much crap.
yeah,
Because they know the retailers are going to pick up every single Marvel title because there are Marvel zombies out there. That's why they're called Marvel zombies. They will buy
yeah,
every Marvel title. So if Marvel's like, oh my gosh, somebody quit publishing a title, quick, put out X something so that we can take
yeah.
up that slot on the shelf before somebody else gets it.
Yeah, I mean, and then too, from my understanding of Diamond, you had like monthly, you had to spend X amount before you even get a price discount.
Yeah.
So what I
That'd
seen
be a
over
good
here.
question to bring up next Saturday night. Every other Saturday, we have the LCS guys on our
Okay.
channel.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's we have Yule Carter, who runs Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, Michael Tierney, who has the comic store in Little Rock, Arkansas, Dave Dyer, my LCS guy here in St. Louis, Missouri. We have Ryan Seymour from Cleveland, Ohio, and we have Larry Doherty from Maryland. I can't remember exactly where. All five of them and Comic Perch, all in the same chat, talking about what it's like that week, the last 2 weeks in the trenches, selling comics, dealing with Diamond, what they're
That's so
ordering, what's selling,
interesting.
what's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a place to come in and ask them about their discounts and what it takes to actually sell comics through Diamond. And a lot of them are leaving Diamond right now.
Yeah.
They're going to they're going through Lunar and the other one that I can never remember.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Scholastic makes a play at it, I think, and other things that maybe not, maybe Scholastic under a different name, maybe, I don't know, but I mean, that's just speculation, but I could see someone making a play at it, especially with that people have all the connects with the magazines, and magazines kind of going out of business. There's a lot of people out there with years of experience that would they could step in there and do a great job. So
Bap2's in the chat. Hey, welcome Bap2. Good to have you back again. For everybody coming in, we are talking with Forest Publishing here. We got Richard Embree, and we are pitching The Last Goodbye. It's a two-fisted, two-gun crime noir thriller, kind of a crime book here. Let's go on, scroll on down here and take a look at some more of this artwork here.
Sure.
And while you're watching this, be sure to go to the description, hit the link there to Richard's Indiegogo page, and pick up one of these perks. Some of these perks that we've been going over here are absolutely insane for the value, and that includes the $500 perk. Which we just discussed was not a sketch cover, but an actual printed cover, the only one of its kind at your artistic direction.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that would be so cool to have your own one of a kind Last Goodbye, and that's it. It's legit. Everything else is in there, and that could be a
Don't
ultimate
destroy it,
gift.
you can't replace it.
Yeah,
Get that sucker CGC'd right away. So who is the guy? Who is our main character here? Who's the smoking Dick Grayson with a gun is what I've been calling him.
Oh, okay. That's Edgar. That's our main character. So
Right,
he's
the bad guy who wants
the
to
bad
no longer
guy.
be a bad guy.
That he's thinking of not being a bad guy, but he has to find a way to say goodbye to being the bad guy. So it's this is him being bad guy.
Yep.
So and that's what I want. Like people like you should put more artwork. You should put this and that. And I understand that because people will like, you only got 2 pages and a couple covers. Is this like some kind of scam? It's I just want to give Edgar the. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a bad guy who's made some bad decisions, and then we find out why he's a bad guy, and we find out how he plans to, give up being a bad guy.
Yeah, but you've
So,
got more than 2 pages done here. There was a
oh
ton
yeah,
of
we're
artwork that was in that video that played.
oh yeah, we're like I said, all the art is done, and we're like I want to say 19 pages. Yeah, 19 pages. We're probably like 20 now. I haven't updated. I'm gonna start updating this every Sunday. So we're like 20 pages in, 20, 25. You know.
Well,
So
let's take a real risk here and refresh this page and see if that we've gone up from the $600 mark.
sure.
I'm going to be very disappointed if we haven't. And if we've gone up $615, I'm just going to wet myself.
Oh,
Say, okay, did not happen.
that's
Come
fine.
on,
That's
people.
fine. You know,
But while we do have people watching here, let's play that video again, even though there's no sound to the video.
sure.
Through our channel, if you go to the Indiegogo, there will be sound. You'll get a really cool soundtrack. But just to see some of this artwork here that was not in a display mode, I'm going to give it full screen here so it looks as good as possible. It almost looks like I framed it this way on purpose now. It's just good luck. Got some real nice perspective in a lot of these shots. Awesome.
Yeah, that's
So
what's crazy is I had to learn to video edit. So I edited that myself. I did the voiceover myself. I didn't do the beat. That's the only thing I didn't do.
yeah, making videos can be fun. That's I try to do it just a little bit. But that's how I did the video that we started out with, and uh, I don't get very elaborate with it. I'm going to click it again just so people can see what they didn't see when they came in. There we go. Hang on.
I like that song. I gotta take that song and redo it. I might not put it on YouTube because I don't want it to get taken down, but I could probably pin it to Twitter or something. That'd be cool.
It's yeah, but your video looks great, man. You should be very proud of that.
Thank you, thank you.
That's one thing I don't do is pan and scan stuff. It's like, oh, that's too much work. Just put the image up there I want and be done with it.
Yeah, I think like that was I use Filmora 9, and it's a pretty easy software, and I mean you can get complicated with it, but I try to keep it easy to the point, clear, and I kind of keep it. I want to set the tone kind of for the project and stuff. It's nothing too crazy.
Sure.
It doesn't have any like the last goodbye doesn't have any explosions, any crazy magic or anything, or like a video that or a graphic novel that you're trying to pitch, and it has magic, it has colors, it has fantasy worlds. You kind of want to go in a little different directions. Mine is just a little gritty street tale with a lot of heart. So
Yeah.
that's what I kind of wanted
This
to.
is this is gravel and bullets.
Yeah, yeah. that's what I wanted to go with. It's just to the point. This is kind of what it is, and you know, and
Now, it's advertised 32 pages. Um,
yeah,
I'm going to ask the basic question: is that 32 pages of story, or is that 22 pages of story and pinups?
it's yeah, it's 32 pages of story. I it might even you can even say 33 because the last page is a splash page. So, but yeah, I mean that's full story. Like when I print it, I because you got to go in like you can't do 33, so it has to be I think 36, and
Yeah.
then and then I got to do a cover, so that's like they count that as four more pages. So it there'll be advertising in there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to put in there yet. Probably more of my stuff, and then probably advertising the channel, my YouTube channel. But
What's
yeah,
your YouTube channel?
it's Forest Publishing LLC.
No spaces, no underscores, or anything like that.
No,
Where'd the Forest Publishing name come from?
I just I wanted
'Cause I see the
something that
koala, and
sounded.
I don't think you're in Australia.
Yeah, I wanted well, Forest came from I was just like, okay, what's kind of like something that's not taken, that's pretty like a normal word that can be taken as like a company. Uh, and then I was like, well, wood, paper, forest. Okay, cool, we'll do forest, even though it's spelled with two R's. And then I
Yeah.
just like someone called me. They said, man, you're like you're like this one person said, you're cute, but you're mean. You're like a koala. And I was like, wow, that's
Well,
she's like, I think it was my aunt. She was like, "You're really cute, but then you're a little mean. You're a little mean son of a bitch. You're like a fucking koala." And I was like, "Thanks, aunt." So I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll
just
incorporate that. And what
sitting
I
up there chewing on your eucalyptus leaves and wanting to spit
yeah
them on somebody. Hey, give that thing another refresh.
okay. Let's do this right now.
Give that thing another refresh.
There we go.
Look at that, BAP2.
Awesome,
BAP2 getting in
awesome.
there, giving us some backing. Appreciate you, BAP2. Appreciate it.
All right,
I
thank
know,
you.
I know Richard does.
Oh, I very much
I've done my
appreciate it.
job. I've
Yeah,
done my
that's
job.
awesome.
I got a backer.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, BAP 2, all you got to do, all you have to worry about is getting somewhere comfortable to read this story and enjoy it. Because you're going to get it bagged and boarded. It's going to be in a Gemini mailer, and I'm putting it in an envelope. So, if it does happen to rain or sprinkle, it'll protect it from water damage. So, I just want you to have
I
that
thought putting them in a
insurance.
Ziploc bag was good enough.
Oh, man. If I put stuff in a Ziploc bag, I'll go back to jail, bro. So.
We don't want that.
Yeah,
Nobody wants
yeah,
that.
man. It'll be
Oh,
my last goodbye.
yeah. You know what, though? Nobody is ever going to do as bad as that Stealing Solo book did. Um,
Oh yeah, that's
did, do,
I
do you
didn't I
what
didn't know
that one
about
had?
that. I saw
Oh, you don't know the
the
story of that one?
no, share it.
Okay. So they backed that one. It was all a Han Solo kind of fan fiction story.
Okay.
Backed it on Indiegogo, produced the book, put a stamp on the back cover.
A stamp. Oh no.
It didn't have anything. It was like it was like a freaking postcard got mailed.
Oh
You just wrote
no.
they put a sticker on the back cover with your address and a stamp, and out it went.
Oh
And people were
no.
pissed
Oh
because
no,
you know
like a
the
pen.
post office takes the utmost care of catalogs when they send them to
Oh
you.
no, that's like a penny saver. Like you got it like a penny saver, huh? Or a mailer?
Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
shit. You can get away with that if it was free. But you can't do that.
Yes.
You can't do that with oh no, oh man. No. I've produced comics before, cuz I would go to the conventions and sell. So, and I'm a fan myself. So
Yeah.
and I'm a fan with like real oily hands. So I like always have to like put them in a bag and board and take them home, and then I bootleg them digitally and just read them so I don't ruin my
Yeah.
comics.
You
That's
got to wear those latex gloves when you turn the pages, man.
yeah, it's not a joy, but yeah. So and I know what it's like to want to keep your comics nice and crisp and take care of them. I know the difference between a reader and a collector, and I want both of their business. And I don't assume to know if you're a reader or a collector, so I just assume everyone's a collector, and we just we go from there. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is.
That's 20 some odd boxes right there.
Oh man, how often do you go through them?
I just went through them recently.
Okay.
Because it was so you saw the stack on the top. Those are the ones that I've acquired since the great re-indexing.
Okay.
About once every 2 years, they'll go into another box soon. I'll get another long box, and they'll get in there. I'll get about 2 long boxes of random books, and then I'm like, okay, it's time again, and I get them all out in order. All the boxes are labeled. There's 2 strips of tape on the front of each lid. There's what's the first title, what's the last title in that box, and I get them all out in stacks of. I get all the random ones out, and I put them in stacks of A, B, C, D.
I gotcha.
And I line all the boxes up, and I start shuffling them in. I start moving them over as they start filling boxes up, and then I relabel all the box lids again. What it is, it's a month-long process when I do it.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's great stuff, and you remember. Wait, I don't remember. I had this. I have this. And
that's why it takes a month.
Yeah,
because I open them and I start reading again.
Yeah, you're like, well, I haven't read this in a long time, or I remember that one panel from there, and I think
the last project I did was super insane, because I started looking at, and I discussed this last week on a stream with somebody, but I started looking at the cost of comics, and I didn't mind paying more for them, but I didn't feel like I was getting anything for it anymore. So I took out a 12-issue solid run of Justice League from the 60s, just consecutive issues.
Right.
And I did the same thing for the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and I counted. I said, how many stories did I get in this 12-issue run? And I was like, oh, I got 12. Sometimes I got 13 or 14 because, you'd have a backup story in a lot of them. And I said, well, how many pages did I get? How many panels did I get? Dude, I counted the words in each book, and kept track of that. So I had a word count, and I ran all the costs through an online calculator to adjust for inflation. So the dollar value was flat. I mean, so a book from 1960 was treated the same as a book from 2010. And I found out that the cost has gone up for what we're getting, but we're also getting a lot less in our books. So it's like, adjusted for inflation, we're paying more dollars for a comic book for fewer pages, fewer panels, because everyone's going to these big splash panels. You get 4 panels on a page now if you're really lucky, and fewer words. Nobody's talking anymore. They front load all the text up front, so there were you're paying more per word than you were in the 60s and 70s, adjusted for inflation.
Well, they're writing for the trade. Whoa.
Man down. Yeah, they are writing for the trade.
They're writing. They're writing for the trade, and they only have one story, and they're stretching it out. And how do we stretch it out? We put big panels, we put splash pages, and that's what people want. Because it's weird. Some of these people that are editors, they think they know comic book fans, and they don't, because comic book fans want to read. They don't want to read just 2 talking heads, but they want a good mixture of pictures and dialogue. Yeah,
they're taking 12 issues to do what Jerry Conway could have done in 1.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because on Comicology, sometimes they just have some killer deals, and they'll be like, we're giving away 12 issues for $3. And I'm like, okay, I can do that, because I'm never gonna get these issues in a comic book store, and if I did, they're gonna be $20 a piece, because it's old school, Luke Cage and Heroes for Hire stuff. So I was okay. I'm reading it, and I'm doing I'm relaxing. I'm doing the panel thing when you go panel to panel, and I'm like, damn, when does this fucking book end? This is like
Yeah.
forever. And I'm
It
like,
was like 30
wow.
minutes later, you finished your comic book.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I'll finish maybe one or two issues, and then I'll go back to, go get ready for sleep, because that's how it'd be with like The Walking Dead, you know. And I'm reading that, I'm like, man, when does this end? And then I'm like reading old school like Captain America. I was like, man, this is like a
Yep.
whole story, but it's continuing from this story to that story, but it's a whole story with it. Like you left feeling satisfied, and that's a that's where the last goodbye comes in. I that's what the story I wanted to create. It's when you leave this story, you're satisfied. You don't want part two. You're just cool, good story. What does this guy have next? And then that's when, after you read it, I'll be promoting the new project. So
And there's going to be a continuation, or set in the same universe, or is it going to be
no,
something
no,
totally
no, no.
different?
The last goodbye is done. It's
Okay.
it's just a story for you to read, and that's it. Like someone asked me, like, well, why don't you do like a prequel or something like that? I'm like, nah, nah. If I'm
Me
gonna
too.
do a prequel, I just write a new story. That's like
Yeah.
they messed up with
Prequels ruin things.
yeah, just because it's never gonna live up to your imagination of what you thought it was. So
Yeah.
just I
Look
I
what happened to
love
Star
Lenny.
Wars. Look what happened to Wolverine.
Yeah, and
Um,
even look what happened to a title similar, the Last of Us, two. And I'm
yeah.
like, dude, The Last of Us one was just a classic. You leave it there, leave it alone. Like Joel chose his love for this little girl over the fucking world, dude. That is awesome to go out on. Just leave it alone. And then they had to bring it back, or
Yep.
they could have brought it back and just had totally different characters. But it's just, you know, that's So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm learning a lot, so I'm not gonna make that mistake. I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna just do my one shot comic and have people enjoy it, and that'll be
So
that. So
no more movement, but that's good. I'm
yeah,
okay. We had a little bit of movement. Um,
yeah, that's great.
I was now. So what kind of a comic is your next story going to be? Do you have something in mind?
I'm going into the horror genre. Going into the horror genre, and I'm going more into like vampires and stuff, vampire horror. So, in that project is already like 20 pages in. So,
Oh, nice, nice. Are you
yeah.
talking about like historical Gothic or modern setting?
Yeah, we're talking about more like medieval,
Okay.
medieval area. It'll be a fantasy medieval world, because I don't like I'm too lazy to read into history and stuff, and I want to be like, oh, that's not accurate because this is that. So I'll just like, what, I'll make it fantasy. Then no one can say shit, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's not Romania. That's Rumenovia.
Yeah, yeah. It's just so I just that makes sense. There's a kingdom. This is the name of the kingdom, and that's it. And vampires will be scary because I like scary vampires. So
They don't twinkle.
yeah, and
Those,
it's due. Like I know there's other vampire stuff out here, but I think by the time this is comes out or launches, it'll be a fresh new take on some vampires. So
see, Baptuis say that they're hearing that they've started on a third The Last of Us.
oh
So
my
it's
god.
at some point it's no longer The Last of Us. It's now the
Yeah.
next of The Last of Us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the next of us.
Yeah, the next of us, the next generation of The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Hey, then
it's
you weren't the last. You were the.
and you know what, when I heard they were announcing The Last of Us, I was hoping it would be like, even though I don't really like prequels, but I was hoping it would be like Joel Test and that one dude that was the comic book collector. The one dude, I totally forgot his name, but he collected comics, and his lover was killed, in it, and he was just like I thought that guy was a. They had a very some real good characters right there. I was like, okay, if they did something like that with those characters, that'd be amazing. That'd be cool. I would. I'm in. So, but yeah, they did something else. So.
Well, I've never been so glad that I'm not a gamer. Last time I played a video game on a computer system, uh, Civilization Gold.
Okay. Well, that's
So
you got good taste.
I'm
You got good taste.
I was never much of a using a keyboard. I couldn't get in there and just do the Halo kind of thing. I tried it with American McGee's Alice, which I had to have because I collect everything that's Alice in Wonderland. Uh, because my very 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 first accepted book was a third Alice in Wonderland story.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had to have that. Uh,
And definitely Nova. They keep throwing away money on just stuff that and it's crazy because Noah's talking about they keep throwing away money, and it's crazy because they know what the fans want because the fans are vocal. I don't know why they don't listen to them, you know, or meet them at least halfway. So it's crazy, and I used to when I had the kids, I was gaming, and I'm like, okay, this is my self care, this is my escapism, and I would always get the itch, like, what if you did this story? What if you did that story? And I think that's when you're a creator. You get that itch, and you're like, man, I have stories to tell. I have entertainment to share. I need to get it out. I need to get the story out. I need to get other stories out. I need to make this look cool. I need to share
you sit
this.
down and you write.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, my
one,
grandfather was a storyteller, and so when I would be over there, he would tell just stories, and the way he told the stories, and it would be the same stories, and I'd be like a little kid, like 3 years old. Well, I want to say like 6 years old, and he would tell me the same stories over and over, but how he told them was with passion, and I kind of have that like in a way in my blood because every story has been told, but they haven't been told by me. They haven't been told with the passion that I have. So that's where I come as a
exactly.
writer, and that's where I'm not the only one that thinks like that, or the only one that has passion that wants to tell stories. So
Oh no! In fact, once I'm done here, it's back to the manuscript pages here.
yeah,
I not not for Critical Blast. I write for another company, Destroyer Books. I write the Remo Williams, the Destroyer novels right now.
oh
So
cool,
that is there was a movie out in the 1980s called Remo Williams: The Adventure Begins, which was based off of this franchise series. It's been running since 1971. Uh, he's just an American. He's an assassin in the employ of the United States. Uh, Highest form of public service.
nice. Nice.
So it's a
Those
look.
covers look great. What does the interiors look like? Do you mind if I?
Oh, be, try my best.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're actually novels.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
books.
oh, books.
Uh,
That's
and
awesome.
then and then as an editor for criticalblast.com, we do have our own publishing. We publish other people. We have the young adult young adult superhero novel Bulletproof,
Okay,
which is a hardcover. Hear that, people? That
there
is
it
a
is.
novel by Stephen J. Mitchell. And this is, if you like the Spider-Man uh, of the 60s and 70s, that Spider-Man, do you remember the Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Um, this is kind of like that. He's the smart-ass quipper. He's a 16-year-old kid who wakes up on his birthday to find out that he's impervious to harm. Uh, and since there's superheroes in his world, he decides to become one. Unfortunately, Cody has got the attention span of a ferret on pixie sticks. So his his friends have to keep him focused if he's going to stay alive against the terrorists who have also found out that he's bulletproof and would like to take him apart so that they can learn that secret too. Nova Blast, you read the old Destroyer novels? Yeah, Remo Williams, Warren Murphy, Richard Sapir. Um, I've been blessed to be on the franchise now, and uh, it's hard to write a destroyer novel these days because Richard, if you're not familiar with the character, it's a lot of political satire, and
Oh,
we
okay.
live in an age of political satire. Like
Yeah.
it's you can't make fun of it anymore because it's done it itself.
Yeah. And you know what? Reality does it better, especially like today is an example of that. you know?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's reality is crazy right now. I wish people would get back to being normal and serious so that I could poke fun at it. But you can't make fun of something that's already such a joke
Yeah.
and have it be taken seriously.
Yeah.
But
That's why I appreciate the Comicsgate community because you go there and like you meet some real honest, interesting, caring, and intelligent people all in the same room.
yeah,
And who are like me, who appreciate stories, who appreciate a certain level of respect that you give to your customers, and that so it's great, man. I'm so happy that I didn't listen to all these people on Facebook, and I went there and actually met these people myself. And because when I got on Twitter, I was like, okay, let's try to promote the book, and I was like, oh wait, those are those Comicsgate people. That's the hate group. That's the bigots. Oh wait, maybe I should
that's the
stay away
hate
from
group.
there. And then
You're
everyone's
not allowed to
nice. Yeah,
you're not allowed to crowdfund your book until you go out and burn a cross.
yeah. It's crazy, and I'm just like, wait a minute, that guy seemed really nice. And then like I always share, Adam Page is one of the first persons. Adam Post, I'm sorry, it's a page. Adam Post is one of the first people I met from Comicsgate, and all this gentleman did was just try to help me find a good printer. like
Yeah,
he's like, hey,
that, that-
you know,
I see them helping each other. Now I see them backbiting each other a lot too. I mean, I liken Comicsgate as almost like the formation of a religion. I'm not saying it's a cult. I know that some
yeah,
people say Comicsgate's a cult, but it's like if you can imagine in the old days, and I'm talking like in like the 300s and the 400s, if you two people met on the road and one says, "Oh, dost thou love us the Christ? Yea, verily we dost love us the Christ. And oh, then thou art our brother and a Christian like us. Let us go and
yeah,
love Christ together." And then 5 minutes later, it's like, "What the hell art thou doing? Thou art loving Jesus wrong. Fuck off with thee. I'm loving Jesus my own way." And it splits, and you get
yeah. That's just it's just it's people. It's like Comicsgate is finding its way,
yeah,
and of course you have people that are maybe a little extreme, and then you have people that are more quiet about it. But I find that, I mean, look at the numbers. People want entertainment. They don't want drama, and like I always say, in the entertainment business, the purchase has to be enjoyable. It can't come with pressure, So you always want to keep the customers and people happy and have a joyous. And I sound like a hypocrite today because I'm really going after people. But you know what? I went after people today because I got a lot of friends. I consider friends that are awesome, that have supported me, that have bought my book, and
well,
it's
there's a difference between going
man,
after people and standing up to bullies.
yeah. And I hate bullies. I mean, that's one thing I hate. I've always hated bullies. I've always like never backed down from bullies. It's been now I'm kind of out of shape. Now I got to kind of like talk things out because I'm older, and borderline. So now it's like, hey, you know what? We can work this out, But
Yeah.
younger Richard is like, let's get it going,
Yeah.
man. So
What people did to Nick Ferrucci this week, what people were trying to do to Jay Lee today, that's
yeah,
bullying, and that
yeah,
needs to be stood up to, and it needs to be stood up to quickly and firmly, and with resolve. And
yeah,
that's why I made the commitment last week. I did not. I've never done this before, but I made a list of all the people who were sitting there trying to call Nick Ferrucci and Dynamite Comics a Nazi organization and a hate group.
yeah,
And this goes all the way back to like Kwanzaa Osajefu and the I can't even remember the guy's name now. I've got Mark. I want to say Mark Russell.
Yeah.
I blacklisted them, and I made it clear that we will not cover any of the material or promote any of the material that they produce until there's a sea change in the industry.
Yeah, because
if they want cancel culture so badly, they've been canceled.
Yeah,
Now,
and it's I mean, that's just it's just some people. Okay, so I said it. If you go to dude's Kwanzaa's what's this called, his Twitter, before he mentioned CG, he got no likes, he got no attention, no interaction.
Yeah.
Like his comic was a little spark, and had good promotion because everyone promoted it, that promotes comics, and then they actually read it. And if he was like that great of a writer and that was an amazing thing, then how come he had trouble selling book 2? When you look at Comicsgate and people that come out, I mean, okay, let's talk John Malin. Look at book 3, what, 100K in under 48 hours?
Exactly.
So
that's amazing. And never mind 100K in under 48 hours. Book 3 in less than a year and a half.
Yeah. So if
he's producing and he's consistent.
Yeah. So if you really want to go, like what he said about Nick Barucci and all that, and trying to get this all started, that's a desperate man needing attention. That's what that is. That's someone who's fading away and doesn't know how to, and now he's playing this card, like the only card he has left, I guess, because I don't. Who respects him as a writer?
Well,
I don't hear many.
Some people are defined by who they love, and some people are defined by who they hate. They need somebody to hate to be defined well.
Yeah. So, but you know what? That just some guy. He has videos.
Awesome guy.
Like just tearing dude apart. He was talking about like his interviews, and he couldn't sell a second book, and he couldn't ask because he puts it so much. He puts it together so much smoother. So I just recommend people to go out and watch that video. The me hack explain it, but he just destroys them on every. I was like, man, just some guy. He comes out with a book, I'll buy that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like it's just, I don't know, man.
I love just some guy's commentary. He's very smooth about it.
He's great,
and he's funny as hell. And he doesn't laugh at his own jokes. He plays it straight. So, but you got to figure he cracks himself up when he gets done with the video.
Oh yeah, it's just it's almost Shakespearean, like how he just destroys.
At times,
bro.
Yeah.
and
they can't cancel him because he's a bisexual person of color. Come on.
They can't.
Child, and
no, they'll block you. They don't cancel you. That's what they do to me. Because when I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, you guys ignore people of color when they don't align in line with you. Like, I wanted to troll Tim Doyle and ask him, hey Tim, where can I go to lunch today? I want to make sure it's approved by my my social justice warrior counselor. So I you don't tell my job to fire me because I went to like Chick-fil-A or something. Like, where am I approved to go? So
yeah, it's an insane time where when somebody doesn't like somebody, they find out where they work and who they work for, and they start harassing people. And companies, they ain't got time for this bullshit. If they get like 3 calls about somebody doing something, they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's make these calls stop. Just get rid of the guy.
Yeah.
They don't care about you as a person unless you work for like a 5-employee group and you've been friends with them all your life, and then they can say, what's going on? Oh, it's these assholes? Okay, fine. Yeah, it's fine. Hang up on them. But corporates.
I already I talked to my so my boss, shout out to Pete, he's a photographer. And so we kind of have like creative talks, like, oh man, this and that, and I was telling him about Comicsgate, and he's like, man, I love that. That's great. He's even watched my channel and stuff like that. He's always like, send me the link. I'll watch it when I'm in the office or something, So I told him, hey Pete, if they ever try to cancel me and shit, what would happen? And he's like, man, I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. So I was like, but I don't know. Hopefully they don't get to corporate. So, but yeah, man, I work with great people, and it'll be it. I'm not worried about getting canceled, man. I don't bend the knee. I don't bow down. Like I made some dumb decisions when I was younger that got me a felony at 19. So I've already kind of experienced being canceled by like, oh, we don't hire felons, we don't hire felons. And you know what?
Yeah.
I put myself in that position, and I take responsibility and accountability, and I work around it, and I do what I need to do to make sure that I live a good, healthy life. So, like with this cancel culture, this shit doesn't work on me. This shit doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
So,
You've seen Scary. This ain't
yeah.
it.
This is child's play. This is I don't know, man. This is just crazy, but
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on turning it all around, man. I'm proud of you. Take this
so
and
now
own it and make something of it.
yeah, and now, like I said, now I work as a substance abuse counselor. So now I get to correct the problem, and I get to be part of the solution instead of just oh yeah, I did the problem a long time ago. Whatever, now I'm part of the solution, and now I get a help, and now that even in comics. I made mistakes there with and lost money and did this and this and that, and now I get to be in the solution. So new creators that I'm around, or even creators that I'm around, if I learn that mistake, I'm going to tell you so you don't make that same mistake too. Now it's up to you to listen or not, but at least I'm going to tell you because I know in the good of my heart that that I didn't just sit by and let you fail. Yeah. I want everyone around me to succeed. So,
And that's what I've seen everybody in Comicsgate doing. Again, I am a supporter of Comicsgate, and I'm a supporter of people who are not in Comicsgate. I'm a supporter of comics.
Yeah.
But what I've seen in Comicsgate, following it, is that everybody helps each other out. One of the things I wish they could help each other out for more than 8 months at a time, because it seems like there's always this split going on, and different factions come off. But it's going to solidify. It'll gel into something, and I expect to see somebody crowdfund an actual publishing house for all of this stuff to start handling their own distribution. So that there will actually be a printer that does everything.
Yeah, I think Malin is working on that as far as fulfilling product, and making sure if you go through his company that everything is solid. And that Malin's proven, bro. Like if you go through him, and it's going to be great. So that people are going to pay for peace of mind. So
see, the one thing I'd like to I'm claiming credit for this if it ever happens, by the way.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of people do trading cards.
Yeah.
Because people, there's trading card collectors out there, and they'll put out like 9 trading cards with their comic, so that how that you put them in the sleeve, and you look at the sleeve, and it's like, oh, all 9 cards made a picture. It was a 9-piece puzzle.
Yeah, like the old Spider-Man cards. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, what I've said is that if you could get 9 Comicsgate creators to get along for more than the length of a campaign, I know it's asking a lot, but if they would each have a card in their campaign that's just their card, don't put 9 of them out, put 1 of them out, and then let it be known that, oh, this is card number 5 of a set of 9. The other 8 are coming in these campaigns. Now you got 9 campaigns interconnectedly helping each other out, because you might have somebody that says, hey, I want to get a copy of The Last Goodbye, and I want to get a copy of Cyberfrog, and I've got these 2 cards, and they're all drawn by the same guy. So because it's just easier that way to draw one picture and cut it up. Oh crap, these make a picture. I got to get these other 7 cards. Well, I wasn't going to go get comic book A and comic book B, but I am now, because I'm at least going to get the card out of the deal.
Yeah. I mean, that could be done. It would be pretty hard though, because from a creator standpoint, like every creator would need to start at the same point, and everyone's at different levels. Like
Yeah,
as far as like like like
be a
with this
little
next project.
coordination.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it can be done. I could see that honestly. Like I said, I just had a 13-hour stream. I had like crazy amounts of campaigns and people come on that are common skate. So I could see that at the I don't want to say lower level, but in the more of the newcomer, um, part of common skate. So it's
Yeah, it could you could start with like three of them, and
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah. I
have to be
think
all
three would
done
be
at the same
possible.
time.
Yeah,
You can start with three, and then you could say, hey, we've got six more slots open here, and as people started campaigns up, they're like, oh, I can get in on that, or maybe I should start my campaign now so I can get in on that.
yeah, yeah. Well, if you want to start at three, let me in. Like in with this next one, and yeah, I'm down. So
Again, I don't publish comics.
yeah.
I just read them and
But
I
you
promote
you
them.
interview artists, you
I
interview
do.
campaigns. So if you get another two, I'm game.
All
So
right. Well, I still say it's got to be nine. It's got to be nine because that's how many slots are in a book. But
yeah,
if you've only got three, that doesn't mean that you can't do the six. You just draw those three slots and then you wait for people to come in. They won't all fulfill at the same time. They don't have to.
yeah,
It's like you're on the chase for the cards.
yeah.
Just like when you were chasing Pokemon cards or Spider-Man cards or
Cause
the X-Men cards.
that would be an excellent deal for if you sign up for the mailing list and you get 9 mailing lists going at the same time, that you automatically
Yes.
get the card, and people would sign up for all of them. And when they back them, yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah,
I'm just thinking it's a way to um, get help. How much better would The Last Goodbye be doing right now if you had seven other Comicsgate campaigns out there saying, "Oh, and you need to go get The Last Goodbye to complete this set."
yeah, yeah. I think it would be doing a little bit better. But like I said, every time it seems like every time I do an interview or something big happens, and then so like even with the 13-hour stream, we were ready to do it on Saturday because they were gonna have the big auction on Friday. So I was like, oh, this plays out great. And then Pizzagate with Brucci comes in, and the campaign, the auction gets moved to Saturday.
Pizzagate.
Yeah. Well, it's Pizzagate 2.0 with going to Ethan's house and having pizza and the
Oh yeah.
the grand which led to the cancellation
Everybody
of
knew
this.
they were friends. He's always said they were friends.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying these social justice warriors, they're behind on everything. So yeah, it's crazy. So and then the auction gets moved to Saturday, and I'm like, I can't compete with that, But we did get awesome people to come on. We did get viewers to switch back and forth, and it was great, man. It was eventful, and I can't wait to do something like that again. And when I do, you're totally invited, bro. That would be awesome to come and talk comics with us, and that would be
Hey,
cool,
I'd
man.
be happy to. You send me a link.
Oh,
I'll be
definitely,
happy to show up now.
definitely, that would be awesome. So
You talk about checking your little black book. I literally have a little black book.
cool.
And I've got my schedule here on it.
There it is.
For everybody in the chat, what is this, Friday? Yes, The Last Goodbye at 7 p.m. Saturday, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. special time, we'll be talking with Charlie's London about her graphic novel about Charlie Chaplin. And
Awesome.
then on Sunday, we're going to have Unstitched. And after
That's Justin.
that, we open up. We have nothing scheduled until next Saturday when we have the LCS guys again at 7 p.m. All our shows are almost always 7 p.m. Central. So if you
Okay.
are looking for our live stream, pop in around that time. We'll probably have something, even if it's an open mic. I do that a lot too, where I just throw the link out there. It's like, come on in.
Yeah.
We'll talk. We've had some 3-hour live streams. That 3 hours is my best, man. I don't know how you went as long as you did.
Dude,
That's
I went
crazy.
out. I went to a liquor store. I bought 2 bottles of water, two monsters and a 3-pack of tall cans. And I told him this is for the first this is for the first third, and then the energy drinks and the beers for the end. So and then I bought two sandwiches from Jimmy John's and put them in the fridge. And we did.
There you go.
I want to say like 5.5 hours before we took a little break. And even when we took a break, we just stream sniped the auction so people can go there and watch that while we were on break. And it said we'll be back at 6 on the bottom, and it was great, man. You know, shout out to Nova was there. Shout out to J Money. Shout out to all the guests we had, man. Justin Unstitched. Justin Dunn was there, man. It was great, man. It was fun, man. That was like summer camp with your friends, man. That's what it felt like. Talking about comics and having a good time. So
it's a lot easier when you've got somebody to talk to. I mean, for my part, when I do an open mic and I've got no guests lined up and I'm just going to come up here and talk and hope somebody shows up, I can go 8 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, what do we want to talk about now?
Yeah, because
I don't know.
People with mental health problems talk to themselves for longer than 8 minutes.
Exactly.
Unless
I thought about live streaming the sorting of the comics, just to, hey, sort comics y'all can watch. Like,
even like the pros, like Rush Limbaugh and stuff like that. They have or whoever you listen to, sports radio, they have their producer they're talking to. They're looking at the producer and talking to him, and the producer sending them questions, and then they take live calls, and they have everything sketched out of what they want to do. So going in and just freestyling it, that's brave territory, bro. I did it for like 30 minutes, and I'm just rambling on talking about the last goodbye, and then I shot out the link, and that's when Jay Money came to that first show, and then it was cool, and it was also humbling because, like I said, I was like thinking like, oh yeah, I'm getting a couple likes. People are retweeting me. Like I'm people are seeing me, and Jay Money was like, I don't even know who you are, bro, but what's up?
But you're on.
Yeah, and I was like, cool. And I was like, and then Nova came on, and then man, those are my boys right there, Nova and Jay Money, man. I love talking comics with them.
You interview Graham Nolan, he's saying here.
Yeah, Graham, man. That is a one of my role models right now, because that man is always positive. He's happy, and he's about great stories. He's about great art, and that dude's a legend. Like we that was a pleasure, man, to have him on the show, and that was just
if you want to get a morale boost of comics, Graham's a great guy to go to for that. I don't mean to. Didn't mean to say that he wasn't there, because he is. But if you want to get somebody on who's really going to give you a good boost of morale and also help out your channel, get Billy Tucci on to talk.
Oh yeah.
Get him in there to talk about Miss Fury, and he'll get people coming to your channel.
Yeah.
You'll feel good after talking to him too. That man is nothing but Red Bull with skin.
Yeah, it's it was funny that you say that, because when Graham messaged me, because he was promoting his project, and I was like, hey, I know who you are. I wanted to actually get your book. I was like, I wanted to actually get your book, and then he's like, oh, that's great. And then I was just like, hey, man, I got a campaign and coming out, and do you mind coming on and this and that? And he was like, are you CG? I was like, hell yeah, I'm CG. And he was like, cool. And then he's like, well, let me find out, because I might be going on the Billy Tucci show. And I'm like, oh, man. And then I'm like, that sucks, because I really want you to go on that show so I can hear you guys talk. But he ended up coming to mine, and it wasn't scheduled. So, man, it was a pleasure, man. It was
He'll go
awesome.
back to Billy's show, and you can watch him there, too.
Yeah, so, and, and I even told him in the message, I was like, you know what, man, Billy's awesome, and I love his stance that he took with the whole Dynamite issue. Man, that was, talking about it being the comic code, and and I was like, hell yeah, dude. Because those gentlemen, those are just what I consider, when you say gentlemen, those are just classic gentlemen. They have class, they have character. They're just very, man. They're competent. They're confident. They're not arrogant. They're just loving, gracious people that are awesome, and that's what I want to inspire to be,
And
so.
the Dynamite thing, that's not even really the comics code. Uh, the comics code was comics responding and saving their neck.
Yeah.
Love or hate the Comics Code Authority, it saved the comic book industry. What was going on with Dynamite was what caused the comic book code, which was basically all these. It was Worthamites.
Yeah.
And it's sad to think that you've got comic book professionals who are now Worthamites. They align with the guy who's saying, "Oh, these comics are bad. These people should not be allowed to make comics." I actually saw somebody tweeting today, and I had to respond like, "This guy doesn't deserve to be in the industry." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What gives you the right to determine who gets to deserve
That's
job
crazy.
doing what they do?"
Yeah. That's crazy. That's people that they that's just the common virtue signal and all that, and it's just nuts, man. It's
Yeah.
and but what it is, what you have is dudes that are still in the industry that are scared that they're next. So they want to prove to their social justice companions or peers that, hey man, I'm not them. Look at I'm one of us.
That's why I said Tom King's balls have been in Heather Antos's purse for the last several months.
Yeah, that's
was
crazy.
Back when because he took a day off to be with his family, and she bitched him out for not supporting their little hashtag campaign the day of.
Oh my
A day
god.
late to it. Like honestly, you really
Jesus.
could have used your voice.
Oh man.
Ever since then, he's been like, oh,
He should have played
I'm
that
sorry.
like
I'm sorry, Tom. I misaligned you. I have maligned you. That was not you. That was Scott Snyder.
Oh, okay.
That she gave out to. So, Tom, sorry, got you mixed up with the other really hot Batman writer.
well that's
So
that just means he has
still
no
disagree with
excuse.
what you said, Tom.
That just means he has no excuse. You took away his excuse.
I took away his excuse. Now he has none.
So back
right.
to man. I think one of the funniest thing I wanted to say on Twitter, but someone already beat me to it and said it funny. They were saying, "No wonder he doesn't work at the CIA. He thinks they're a hate group. His investigation skills suck."
Yeah. Oh yeah. He, like you said, he's going to be an informant now.
Yeah.
He's an asset.
That's crazy. But you know what? At the end of it, it's really sad that he feels he needs to do that just to write comics. That's sad, but that's the decisions they make.
Will come a day when they're all gone.
Yeah.
And they may be taking the big industry powers with them. I mean, it might be DC and Marvel, just they sink it. But as much as everyone says that's the doom and gloom of the comics industry, that it's the end of everything, Marvel and DC are not everything. I think if Marvel and DC were two trees, the size of Yggdrasil from Thor, there's just these giant world trees. It's like all you can see. If they were to just be chopped down and fall away, you'd find this whole forest of normal-sized trees out there with all these independent publishers who've been just putting out comics this whole time, and they're good stuff. You got places like Vault Comics that are putting out Engine Ward, which I'm getting ready to review. You've got what else is there? Come here, comic book. Come to me. You're within my reach. Heroinberg Comics, which is doing their thing. This is a fun comic because they actually do. Switch over to this a little bit here. They actually do a live-action webisode series featuring their actresses dressed up like they're superheroines.
Oh, that's cool.
And the thing about this comic is, you hear this cover.
Nice.
You hear how thick that is?
Yeah, it's probably like 100 stock.
100 stock, at least.
Yeah.
Here's page 1 of the book.
That's probably 80.
Page 2 of the book.
Yeah.
The covers and the pages are the same thickness.
Oh, really?
All on hard stock. There's not a comic book printed page in here. Standard 80-pound paper. It's just it's cardstock all the way through. So, it takes some doing to bend that one up and get it out of net.
Yeah. You know what? Would be crazy, and this could actually, anything could happen, I guess, with what we're seeing. But imagine if Marvel and DC, the big two, they go down, and Warner Brothers and Disney are like, we're not paying for this shit no more. Sell off the characters, and then you have all these people, like just buying characters and leasing out characters, and that'd be crazy, because that's what they did with the
I
movies.
love it.
So
I've said, if I had an extra $25 to buy DC away from AT&T right now, I'd shut it all down, and I would crisis the whole thing out.
uh,
Only I would do it
RJ, your mic,
implicitly.
your mic's a little,
Where did my mic go?
yeah,
Am I back? Can I hear
yeah,
me now?
yeah. We can
Okay.
hear you.
This thing moves. Um, but I would reboot the whole thing consistently across the board, and it'd
Yeah.
be like no DC Comics for a month, which we've proven is survivable. and
Yeah.
then
And enjoyable.
you get yeah, and then you would get Action Comics #1, Superman #1, Batman and Detective #1. And you know what they would be? They would be about these guys who were nervous about putting on costumes and doing their thing, because it's going to be day frickin' one. It's not going to be like, oh, it's day one for Superman, but Batman's been operating for 10 years and nothing changed.
Mm.
And it's going to be 5 years before you see Robin, and he's going to be Dick Grayson, and he's going to be 13 years old. And we're just going to keep it that way for forever. As long as I'm alive, that'll be the way it goes. There won't be any Nightwing until I'm dead and gone, and somebody says, okay, let's make Nightwing now. Because I always contend that Nightwing is what put the timeline of the DC universe into disarray. Because all of a sudden, as soon as he put on that costume, there was a clock that started ticking in the DC universe. So it's, hey, time's passing. Batman's getting older. Up until that point, Bob Rozakis, the Answer Man, had always told us Batman and Superman are both 29, and they will always be 29, and they've always been operating for 5 years. Doesn't matter how many stories you've read, they've been in business for 5 years, and they're 29 years old. But now, all of a sudden, Batman has raised 4 children. And you
I
can't
like
be
the-
29 years old and have done that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's
He's at least 45 now.
yeah, I like the Simpsons approach. All the kids are the same age every year with
Yeah.
20,
Yeah.
30 odd
Archie-
seasons or whatever.
Archie never graduates high school. That's where
Yeah.
you are. And yes, all these things have happened. You've had some very busy days, and it's been a very busy life, but it's only happened in the last couple of years.
Yeah, but it's fantasy. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's crazy. All you
You
got to worry
suspend the
about,
disbelief.
only thing that is in the past is a past issue, but it doesn't matter about time. So
Well, that's the thing with the Destroyer that I always struggle with is a lot of people are like, well, he's got to be this old, and Master Chun, who was at least 80-something thousand when they started, he's like, he's got to be over 100 now, then, and they got to be dying off. I'm like, no, I don't care how many presidents he's worked for. He's only been in business for 5 years. That's it. I took
Yeah.
the Batman approach. I'm like, I'm not going to age him. I'm not going to mention his age. You only mention Chun's age because Chun is his master trainer, mentor, surrogate father, and his description is always that he's like, 4 foot something and looks like a wind would blow him over, but he will gut you and not think twice about it.
yeah, I mean, that's to get back to Last Goodbye. That's what I like when people were, well, only a couple people that were like, is it gonna be a sequel? Is it gonna be this? Is it gonna be that? I was like, nah, it's just one story. Enjoy it. That's it. And then there's more stories to be told, but not in the Last Goodbye universe. It's just, and I don't. That just seems enjoyable. Like if you did another Batman when he's older, it's just not in that book. It would be a different, I would imagine
Yeah.
a different title, and you just keep that what it is because that's what people want. So
You know what happens when you put out a book that people love, and they love it so much that they want another book, then you do another book. And they love that one so much that you want you to do another book. You know when they quit reading? When you do the book that sucks.
Mhm.
And you know what people remember? the
The
book
book
that
that
sucked.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, that last Goodbye series, that was pretty good for the first 6 books, but man, that seventh one, he just lost it. Yeah, I couldn't follow it anymore. I got rid of him
Yeah, you got to get
because you
out
got
when right when it starts to go downhill. Just get out, abandon ship, and
yeah,
just like
go out on top.
well, I was gonna say too, like Bruce Lee, he passed away looking young, so he's
Yeah,
immortalized looking young. Like Tupac passed away looking young. We'll never get to see an old Tupac, so he's
nope.
always ingrained. He died at 25. All we know is 25-year-old Tupac. That's all the imagery we know. So
And on the
it
other hand, we got Steven Seagal.
exactly, yeah, amongst others, that didn't age too well, but
Yeah,
is a sheriff. So it's man, like the fact that they don't have to age Batman or Superman, it should be a luxury that they keep. And as far as writing it, that should be the challenge. If you're a writer and you want to take this assignment, you better make it interesting within these parameters, because that's what this book is, and that
and
that
it
would
can
actually
be
be
done.
challenging. Yeah,
It was done for decades.
yeah,
Uh,
because people got out of each other's way and just let them have at it. And another thing too, it seemed like back in the day, and I'm not usually that guy that's like back in the day, this like not, but
I
back in
walked
the
through the
day,
comic shop 10 miles, uphill both ways in the snow and barefoot.
yeah, but you had to earn your chops. You know what I mean? You had to prove yourself. I remember when I first got into comics or started about, I was like, man, I would love to write a Punisher, and I would talk to my friend who really got into comics, and I was like, but I don't know the history of Punisher, and this is before like the digital age and stuff, and he was like, no, dude, they have someone at Marvel that knows all the continuity, it'll guide you through it, don't even worry about it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And now I wonder, do they even have those people anymore that
You
like
mean
do fact
editors?
checks?
No,
Yeah.
no, they don't.
Yeah, because
Um,
those guys would be like 30 years in the game, 40 years in the game. They know exactly what's going on. They're like, no, 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 no. Punisher wouldn't do that because in this issue, blah, 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 blah. And in this
yeah,
issue, blah,
and they
blah,
wrote
blah.
herd on all the writers too. One of the things that you saw this Doomsday Clock book series
Yeah.
that DC did.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jeff Johns as a writer, and I know that Doomsday Clock went through hell to get produced because its editor got taken off the book for, I forget what it was exactly, but it wasn't something that you want in the news. Um,
Gotcha.
and Dan DiDio didn't like the idea of doing it in the first place, but there was so much going on in that book that was supposedly set in the DC universe that didn't impact a single thing in the DC universe. And
Mm.
and I was like, if Julie Schwartz was alive today and running DC Comics, every single title of that they published would have had a Doomsday Clock logo above its masthead, and you would see the impact of that story happening in this. The whole
Mm.
Superman theory. I mean, he had this massive theory that hey, all the heroes and villains uh, are actors and created by the government to make you think they're heroes and villains. And while it was a crackpot theory, it turned out that some of them were
Oh, wow.
actually created by the government, and some of them were major, like Firestorm. That Martin Stein knew exactly what was going to happen when he was in that right place in that right time with Ronnie Raymond, and had planned for it to happen, and that some of the villains were having staged fights to keep people distracted from things. Uh, that should have been happening in issues of Firestorm. That should have been happening in issues of Superman and Batman, uh, but it didn't, and because it didn't happen outside the book, it happened nowhere. The book had zero impact on anything, which is complete and utter shame.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think that like in the beginning of maybe the year, all the writers get together and editors get together, and you got the writer of Batman, Superman, this and that, and they're just sitting around this table and like, okay, what are we gonna do? And then they're hashing out this and they're working out, where's Batman at during March issue, because if he's in a Wonder Woman comic, he needs to, be in that Wonder Woman comic or whatever, you know. So you
Yep.
would think they would do that, but and that would be so cool that like, hey, Batman's on the cover of Wonder Woman with her, and then you look in both comics and you see, oh, Wonder Woman's in Batman and Batman's in Wonder Woman. Even if it's like just a panel or whatever, and then we'll go on to the whatever story. That would be
Yeah, they
like,
used to do that.
yeah,
And they didn't have to get, real specific about it. I mean, obviously, Batman was in every issue of Justice League, and you didn't have to see him leaving Gotham City. It's like, I'm fighting the Joker. Oh, no, I'm tied to the railroad tracks. Going to get out of the ropes real quick so I can go over here to the Justice League and have my adventure here. Then I'm going to come back and tie myself back up, and we'll have this thing over. There's, it didn't
yeah,
have to be that specific, but, if something big was happening somewhere, big enough that it was impacting the rest of the world, then it would have echoes in the other books.
definitely.
Marvel did it. Spider-Man's swinging through New York after, I don't know, Paste Pot Pete or the Leapfrog or somebody, and it starts snowing in July. And Spider-Man's like, what the fuck? It's snowing in July. How am I going to catch him now? I'm going to start slipping on everything. And that was it. And all there was a little text box that said, if you want to know why it's snowing in July, go over to Thor, where a big major event was happening about Ragnarok winter. And it was, snowing all over the world all of a sudden. But they made sure that a big global impact in one book echoed in the other books, and then they just told their stories and kept going.
Yeah, and dude, that remember the little editor's notes? It's like editor note, blah 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 blah
Oh yeah,
blah. Those sold more comics because I'm like,
see
shit.
issue 327.
Yeah, see issue this, and then the editor will pop in, pop out, and then you're like, okay. And then sometimes if it was they gave a description like or Punisher fought Kingpin and released from jail or something whatever, and then like
Yeah,
issue blah blah blah. So if it needed detail, it was detail. If it didn't need detail, and it was just a reference like, oh yeah, you again, and then it's like issue 141 blah 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 blah. Those sold. That made you go out and look for that book because you're like, okay, this is a good story, and that book's already printed, and it's a month until the next issue comes out. Let me go look for this book so I can get caught up and have it ready and be ready to know what
yeah.
happens. And that was
It made you go out and buy more books.
yeah, and it was genius,
All right.
and it was little. It was just some little thing that made you buy more books
Yep.
and made you go back to the comic book store and oh yeah, can I still order that? Blah blah blah. If it's not on the shelf, if it's not a back issue, can I order it? This is just crazy.
And for me, sorry, I'm going to smack my mic now that it's there. For me, I go back to the days before the comic book shop. So for me, it was a chase of, I've got to hit people's yard sales. I've got to start going to the
Ooh.
grocery store. I've got to find somebody who's maybe selling it online. No, there was no online. You have
Yeah.
to start looking at the catalog ads. Start looking at the Mile High Comics ads in
Yep.
the middle of a comic book. It says, they got it for this much. Okay, I've got to mail off for it.
Yeah. That and or go to conventions and start digging through
Yeah.
all the long boxes.
Yeah, the
I
flea markets and the conventions.
I remember they opened up in California, like a block down from Disneyland. I used to live there. They opened up a Mile High Comics, and it was on the corner of Harbor and Chapman. And it was a big building. It had lots of comics in there. It even had like theater seating with actual like theaters, I want to say there was like a big screen, but for some reason the projector wasn't really that bright, so the movies were kind of like really faded.
Uh,
And they would always have like Star Wars playing or Star Trek playing, and you could literally go in there, sit down, read a comic, and watch a whatever nerd movie, geek movie they had out, and it was great. But they're known for having really expensive prices, so I would be like, I would go in
yeah,
there and see what they have, but I would end up going to Comics Unlimited just down the street because he was more
they became a
affordable.
franchise of sorts. I mean, Mile High was cool when it first started because it was this huge discovery of somebody's golden age and silver age collection
Yeah,
that had been put away, and because it was in Denver and the humidity was low, that was in pristine shape. Um,
right.
and it kind of reminds me of there's a movie, and if you haven't seen it, I recommend finding it, called Comic Book Villains.
No, I haven't seen it.
Have you seen it? Heard of it? Uh, Donal Logue is in it. The guy who played Bullock on Gotham.
Okay.
Uh, and what it is, it's this city where there's two comic shops, and one is like it's the geek shop. I mean, it's the guy that doesn't look like he's taking a shower. It's the Simpsons comic book guy.
Right.
Uh, and then there's another one, which is a married couple who are very, very preppy, very, very professional, and everything is neat and clean. It's a pin. And across
The
town,
OCD comic
this-
shop. Yeah.
exactly. Across town, this guy has died, and he was a guy who lived with his mother, basically in his mom's basement. And the word gets out that he has, in a humidity-controlled room, every comic book ever printed from 1937 forward.
Wow.
And it's like, what's his mom going to do with them? Is she going to throw them out? Is she going to sell them? So it's like these two stores start trying to jockey for position to be able to get their hands on this collection. And
That's great.
that's where the title comes from. They are the villains, or the comic book villains. And it's a really cool story. And the ending will make you cry.
Is it is it on Netflix or where is it at? Where would it be?
Oh, I doubt it's on Netflix. I got it on DVD like
Okay.
15 years ago.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look for that then. That's a
Yeah, get out on Amazon. Look for comic book villains. It's worth the watch. Just if you're a fan of comic book collecting culture.
cool.
And I can't recall who the other actor was. He's been in a lot of things too. He looks like a scarecrow. He's a very young, gangly, skinny-looking guy, and he's Donal Logue's partner. But yeah, check it out. It's worth the watch. Man, we're talking about everything now, and I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, keep refreshing it. It ain't. You got your 25.
No, I wanted to. I always do that. Now that I'm, every time I see I get like an email, I'm like, oh wait, is it? And then I refresh and yeah, it's exciting time. So
I'm the same way, man. I got we just put out our newest our newest book from Critical Blast, which is a 370-page anthology called The Devil You Know. Link in the description below, guys. It's after the link for Indiegogo to go get The Last Goodbye. Hit that one first. But when it's listed on Amazon, first thing I do is I'm like, okay, any reviews? Got a review. It's a good review. What's our ranking? Okay, what's our ranking now? I'm just like, I'll do this click and refresh all day long. Like, I know better. It's not my first rodeo with a book listing on Amazon, but that first day is always like, how popular is it? Are people getting it? Do they like it? And then I realize, oh, they're not getting it because I'm not out there telling people it's available. So that's what I'm doing now. DJ Qualls, thank you, Nova Blast. Yes, that's the guy who was with Donal Logue, his partner in Comic Book Villains.
oh, okay. I know that guy. Did that guy pass away? I remember he was in Hustle and Flow.
I don't recall news of him having passed away.
Yeah. I hope not. I like that guy. Yeah.
Comic Book Villains is a good movie. I saw that about the same time I saw The Movie Hero. And that had Dina Meyer in it, who was on Birds of Prey. She was Oracle on Birds of Prey. And the second time I blanked on this guy's name now. The second time I've talked about it, and every time I talk about it, Jeremy Sisto was the main character. He went on to voice Batman in some of the DC Animated Universe stuff.
Nice.
But The Movie Hero was all about this guy who he knows he's in a movie, and he talks to the screen, and everybody else is like, "What's wrong with you? Who are you talking to?" "I'm talking to the audience." What audience? and they're all convinced he's crazy until at a certain point somebody else sees the audience and they realize, holy crap, we're in a movie.
That's great. I don't even
know what the plot was about. It was just so funny that it was
what's that called, the fourth wall or something, breaking the fourth wall?
Yeah, the fourth wall.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
But well, Richard, I tell you what, we've been here for 2 hours. I usually do 1 hour because I run out of things to talk about. We did not.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a good quality show for me. It's been a lot of fun talking this. I'm glad I was able to boost The Last Goodbye a little bit. Naturally, I'd have loved to have seen it go to 2,000 and beyond.
That'd be awesome. But it's a. I know what I got into. It's a marathon. It'll happen, and even like I tell all the backers, it's gonna get funded, even if I have to dig in my pockets and get it out there myself. If you spend your money, I'll spend my money. We'll get this out there. It might take a little bit longer. I might have to wait for an extra check to come, but we are gonna get this out there. It will guarantee to ship. So.
Well, let's try to not have you spend $1,400 to satisfy $600. That's just not good economics. That's not good business. But we appreciate you being on the show. We'll be glad to have you back anytime, man.
Sure, thank you. I'm definitely going to check out the show with. Yeah, I'm
going to do that tonight. And you get closer to the last 24 days here. You expand it another 30 days if you need to. Anyway, you get close to the end, you hit us up again. We'll see what we can do about pushing that out a little further.
Sounds great. And I'm going to check out the show with all the. Well, I'm going to check out Charlie's London tomorrow, but I'm also going to check out with all the comic book store owners. That sounds so fascinating. I want to pick all these guys' brains. I want to know. I love learning.
All right.
So
we'll look for you in the chat, man. All right. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here. Definitely appreciate you coming by. We couldn't do this without you. And we'll see y'all tomorrow night with Charlie's London. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good night.
Hi. Thanks for stopping by for another Critical Blast video. The internet is a big place, and we know there are lots of other places you could be other than here, and we appreciate you being here immensely. If you enjoyed this kind of content, we hope you'll return for more. If you click the subscribe button, you'll get a little notification of when we produce new video content. If you would like to help the channel out, there are many ways to do so. Just visiting our main hub, criticalblast.com, will do wonders. But if you're more of a show me the merchandise type of person, there are links in the description of this video to our t-shirt shop, as well as links to Amazon for the books we publish under the Critical Blast Publishing imprint, including the urban fantasy anthology Gods and Services and the YA superhero novel Bulletproof by Stephen J. Mitchell. Thanks again for visiting this video. We hope you had a blast.